Hi, I'm Justin Jensen, and welcome to my channel. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and may fall again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. Teddy Roosevelt. Hello, how's everyone doing? Thank you for being here. This is going to be a quick live, but the Moscow police just put out a update an hour ago on their Facebook page, and I kind of feel like they're bouncing the ball back and forth, back and forth. And based up on things that Brian Enton and everyone said last night, and now I'm not so sure. So let's get right to it. It's not going to be a very quick, it's not going to be a very long live at all, but I didn't want to do a video, so I just went live. So 1 hour ago, released City of Moscow Police Department, Moscow Homicide Update, December 5th, 2022, Moscow, Idaho. The Moscow Police Department is providing the following information to update the public on the known facts surrounding the four members that occurred on November 13th in Moscow, Idaho. Updated information. There have been statements and speculation about this case. Victim injuries, cause of death, evidence collection and processing, and investigative techniques. With the active criminal investigation, law enforcement has not released additional facts to the family or the public. Okay, that is the whole problem what I have right now. This is the problem that I have. So last night, Brian Enton and some other news outlets and all of them said that they could confirm that one of the victims had more trauma, and that they could confirm it. Thank you so much, Tammy. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So they are saying clearly in this updated information, the last night, the big media put out more significant injuries. Yes, Betty. And what I don't understand, they put this special out last night, and today they come out with this. There has been statements and speculation about this case. Victim injuries, cause of death, evidence collection, and processing, investigative techniques. With an active criminal investigation, law enforcement has not released additional facts to the family or the public. Okay. So they haven't told the family that, they're saying, the police, and they haven't told the public, which the public is the media as well.
You can take that to the bank.
Thank you so much, Teresa. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. So that's bothering me. So does that mean we just kind of not believe it? That one has more injuries than the other? That's what I want to know. It makes me more confused. It makes me a lot more confused. And the speculation proliferates in the absence of facts. However, we firmly believe speculation and unvetted information is a disservice to the victims and the families and our community. The Moscow Police Department is committed to providing information wherever possible. One second, guys. One second. Well, it's just very interesting. Thank you, Kramila. I appreciate you, dear. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Um, yeah, the dad would not lie. I mean, I'm definitely not trying to say that. But it's like these parents are so frustrated, and like they come out with, basically say, that one has more injuries than the other, and then the police come out and said, nope, we haven't said nothing to the parents. And then the parents are like, and the poor dad, he's like, you know what? I have paid for these funerals. That is my right. And I agree with him. It's very frustrating how this is just. The Moscow Police Department is committing to providing information whenever possible, but not at the expense of compromising the investigation and prosecution. Detectives continue investigating what occurred from approximately 9 p.m. on November 12th at 1:45 at November 12th at 1:45 a.m. on November 13th when Ethan Chaplin and Xana uh, Kernodle were believed to be at the Sigma House on the University of Idaho campus at 735 Nez Drive. Any interactions, contacts, directions, and method of traveling or anything abnormal could add context to what occurred. So they are looking for interactions that they've been with, had contacts, direction, and who they traveled with, or anything abnormal. Detectives continue processing and working through more than 2,645 emailed tips. Can you guys imagine that? Her dad paid for the services, and when his poor daughter arrived, the condition of the body is released to the family. Absolutely, vet girl. Absolutely. So, Texas Angel, thank you for bringing that up. I was talking earlier, like I have seen nothing about this Africa trip. guys, in my opinion, like, believe what you want to believe. When it comes to psychics, that's fine and stuff, but it is not a fact. It is not a fact. And any psychic will tell you that, whether you believe them or not, they can be off. Don't ever, in my opinion, take a psychic for something between life and death, respectfully. So, just a thing there. So, 2,645 email tips, 2,770 phone tips, 1,084 digital media submissions. This is a small department. And this is the thing. 2, 4, that's like close to 8,000 different hits they have there. And they have to go through every single one of those. And they have to push it out as far as it'll go, because all it takes is one of them to be right. Yeah, the FBI is big, but there's still only so many agents there, and they're not really, going through the emails. The FBI is there, Cassie. The FBI, Secret Service, marshals. That's another thing. A family advocate is needed. Absolutely. Thank you, Tracy. Kaylee's dad, I'm sure, knows Maddie's injuries, but doesn't know Xana and Ethan's. Maybe they don't want to say Kaylee was target. Maybe she was fighting attacker or fighting for Maddie. They don't want to rule out that. Possibly. Thank you so much for that, Tracy. I do appreciate it. Very kind of you. I don't know, guys. Like, we are all banging our head up against the door right now, just trying to. It's so frustrating because, you know, a little nugget of information would be great. It really sounds like there was a chatty cop. Nah, no, I don't think there's any chatty cops. I think, well, I see what you're saying, Mary. Someone could have said something. They could have had a source privately, but still, we believe some information that will add context to the picture investigators are creating of what occurred that evening. Our focus is the investigation, not the activities. Your information, whether you believe it is significant or not, might be one of the puzzle pieces that help solve these murders. Using tips and leads, investigators have identified an incident involving Kaylee at a local business, which may have been the stalker reference she made to friends and family. In mid October, two males were seen inside a local business. They parted ways, and one male appeared to follow Kaylee inside the business, and she exited to walk toward her car. The male turned away and it did not appear he made any contact with her. Still very scary for a young lady. Anyone's following you even a little too long, you're like, why are they following me? Detectives contacted both males and learned the two were attempting to meet women at the business. Huh. This was corroborated through additional investigation. Based on available information, detectives believe this was an isolated incident and not an ongoing pattern of stalking. No evidence suggests the two males were involved in the murders. Investigators continue to look into information about Kaylee having a stalker. Information about a potential stalker or unsure occurrences should go through the tip line. There have been numerous requests about the dog found at the residence on the morning of November 13th. Arriving officers entered the residence and found the deceased victims. During the search of the home, a dog was found in a room where the crimes had not been committed. Officers did not find any evidence on the dog, and there was no indication the animal had entered the crime scene. So that is a good thing to note. Thank you so much, Cassie. Thank you. Her location on all of her friends. I sent you an email. Kylie had her location on to all of her friends. Really? Okay, let's we'll look at that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mama's the boss. Yes, if you guys don't mind hitting that thumbs up button. So a lot of people was asking about the dog. Was the dog in there with the crime scene? Uh, you know, most dogs shed, and they can transfer hair. There's been a lot of crimes solved through pet hair, and just also transferring, it can really mess up a crime scene as well. So it looks like that this dog was in a separate part of the house where no crime was took place, and this dog did not interfere with the crime scene. That is very, very important. Okay. Okay, officers did not find any evidence on the dog, and there was no indication the animal had entered the crime scene. The dog was taken to animal services and released to a responsible person. Okay, this is my thing. Am I missing something? Let me know if I'm missing something here. The dog was missing, right? Was the dog missing the night before? That's why she called Jack 5 times. You get what I'm thinking, Vet Girl? Oh, thank you, Auntie. And that's a very nice comment. Thank you. Okay. No, the dog was not missing? Okay. So why did she call Jack 7 times? What was that supposed to be about? Yep, and she said we share a dog, I think, anyways. Thank you, Kimmy D. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Her sister said drunk calling 7 times. Dog was found in. Yes, I know the dog was found in the room in the house. Like when the cops got there, is what I mean. But what I'm saying is the dog was crated. How do you know that, Tommy? Just curious. When did she start to call him Tom at the food place? No, I think it was after she got home. The dog was 3 miles away, or did I misunderstand? Uh, the dog was at they took the dog to the Humane Society. A girl calling her boyfriend, that's how they do a joke. I don't know why they would take it to the shelter. I mean, just to, that's the thing that the dog was found in a totally different room that had nothing to do with the crime scene whatsoever. Oh, somebody gifted memberships. Thank you. Whoever gifted memberships, thank you so much. Hello, Chris. Good to see you. I've seen that Jack S. parents are good friends with the attorney. I don't know. See, I just want to know why, like, calling 7 times, to me, that's not good enough. I don't know. It's just something like, saw screenshots of what? One second. Rewinding beer. Okay. He wasn't answering. I mean, I know that they said some of the victims were more intoxicated than others. Yeah, drunk dialing, but it's like 7. I mean, it's, you know, I get it, drunk dialing, but then drunk dialing 7 times and then 4 end up dead, an hour or 2 later. Eh. Screaming Jack 7 times, phone pick up voice. That's the question. How and why did the dog take into the shelter? But this is law enforcement's statement. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Listen, I get the drunk. I get the drunk dialing. But when you call someone over and over and over, you want to tell them something. There's something you want them to know, even if it's something silly. Um, okay. The dog was taken to the animal services and released to a responsible person. While the dog was in the house when officers arrived, it has not been determined where the dog was physically located when the murders took place. At the time, no suspect has been identified, and only vetted information that does not hinder the investigation will be released to the public. There is speculation without factual backing, stoking community fears and spreading false information. We encourage referencing official releases for accurate information and updated progress. Tips. For tips, detectives are looking for context to the events and people involved in these murders. To assist with the ongoing investigation, any odd or out of the ordinary events that took place should be reported. Our focus is the investigation, not the activities. They said that again. Your information, whether you believe it is significant or not, might be the piece of the puzzle that helps the investigators solve the murders. Information can be submitted to the tip line 208-883-7180 or email tipline@ci.moscow.id.us and the digital media fbi.gov/Moscow, Idaho. Um, that's another thing. Like, they don't want the parents to put out any reward fund. No, I don't know the reason for that. But, they're asking, they're saying nothing too big or too small, nothing too big or too small. Girls will tend to call their close friends and family until they pick up. Annoying, maybe, but it's a common thing. She even had her friends try. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. Thank you so much, Cassie.
Take
Appreciate that.
to the bank.
Emailed a video of Jack S. with dead animals. Okay. The email shows a lot and Kaylee photo and location of home. Yeah, I think they've already got someone lined up. I mean, just like the serial killer that was in California, Stockton killer. They were watching him days prior, and they were watching him that night around the city, and he was out hunting, right? And what did they do? They had to pounce on him. Had to pounce on him. All right, let me look up. Okay, was it originally reported that the dog was missing, or the dog went outside and they couldn't find the dog or something? Or did I just dream it? There's no items in my wish list. They must have cleared it out. I don't know. Maybe I need to fix it. Thank you, dear. I'll fix it if it's something's going on. Thank you. What time is it? Did you know Kaylee had her location?
Hi guys.
Hold on. Stop what you're doing in the next. Hey Cassie, I haven't like verified this information yet, so I don't really want to put it out there. But can you just give me a rundown on what it is? I just don't want to put something out there that I haven't verified that there absolutely is that it was on, and I haven't had time to look at it yet. So, Justin, have you seen that Keely cussed out a guy at the grip truck? You know, I watched the video. I watched that video and I looked to see if she like, and the only time I could ever see her saying anything, maybe even remotely anything, was when the guy was standing over here, she was over here ordering, and then she walks over here and she's talking to one of the other, I forget who she was talking to, talking, and then he walks over here and he like stands in front of him, and then she moves sideways because she like, and she, but before that she like lifts her head up and like maybe briefly says something. Where did Ethan and Xana go for hours? Think that is the key. So one of the parents believed that they were at the bar, but she said she could not be 100% on that. She said that in a News Nation interview. She said it. Do you know what about what, like the timestamp? Fake ID. I don't know. Like this, it just bothers me that these parents are talking about it, and then Brian Enton said he had a solid source, and then the next day the police come out and they're like, what do they say? With the active criminal investigation, law enforcement has not released any additional facts to the family or the public. Well, they know. Justin, watch Truth and Trans. Jack S. is not in Africa. He's not in Africa. Yeah, FU is said it plays to believe. Is there any audio to it? Because the ones I've seen have not had audio. Absolute truth seeker. He did pay for them, and that's what he said. He said, I have that right to say that. That is my that's why I feel anxiety about this. Okay. And then because I just feel like, well, he's like, I just said this yesterday, and Brian got a hard confirmation, and then it's like, no, we're not telling you anything. And I feel like there is this toxic, not toxic, scratch that. I feel like there is this tension between some of the families, and I just hate that for them. You know what I mean? Exactly, Quinny. It's just such frustration for these parents, and they're frustrated, and it's just all too much. Yeah, you can start to feel there's some tension, and they're all so raw right now. Yeah, they feel like, I get it. They feel like they're not being informed, but I also understand the police. I mean, let's say, for instance, they gave them information and said, well, this is our suspect over here, right? This is our suspect. And, the dad, or one of the dads, one of the uncles, someone gets up in the middle of the night and goes, pops a cap in his ass, and he's actually not the suspect, like the killer or whatever. Well, it's all going to go back on the police because they're the ones that told him. Connie, honey, don't you worry about it. We was offering prayer to you today. I told everyone to. I got a letter. I got an email, and don't you worry about it. You got my phone number. You call me anytime you need to talk, cry or pray. You call me, and if I can do anything to help you, I'm here. And I mean that. I really mean that. Thank you so much, Martini.
You can take that to the bank.
The words are additional facts. The parents may have already known that they've divulged, and this points out our frustration. I don't know. It's very interesting. That pops out literally less than 24 hours ago. Of course, Connie. Um, and if you need anything, you just let me know. I mean, I volunteer for hospice, and uh, if I can answer any questions, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but um, I can give you my opinion. Steve and his wife are hiring a PI. Yeah. I don't think the families would say anything. I think they came out to speak because they are not being told anything. Yeah, it's such a small town, and you know how rumors fly so quickly. Yes, thank you, dodging bullets. No PI. I beg them. I beg, and I plead. Please, Lord, don't get a PI. Please, God in heaven. You sent me a video. Thank you, Barb. Oh, hold on, Cassie.
Hi guys.
Let me see if this is that. So I'm not playing the video, but this is. I'll give her credit here in a second. I don't. Cassie, if you know who this is, but this he doesn't appear uncomfortable in proceeding of the. So he's. Is that like a what the hell? What kind of animal is that? Oh crap! Oh crap! Interesting. The police are looking for a K-bar styled knife. The one in the photo looks like it could be a K-bar. I don't know what kind of animal that is, but that's a big animal. That's right. Jesus rules and Satan drools.
Excuse me, bitch.
I don't know. This is from Crime Sleuthin. Thank you, Cassie. Crime Sleuthin. So y'all can check her out.
Based on what came out.
I'll cut to the chase. This means, I think I showed this one last night. I have this somewhere. I'll cut to the chase. This means the deaths don't match. They don't match. He doesn't have to go up the steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up those stairs. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just going to say it. Wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. Okay. So obviously the police did not tell him that he's saying he earned that because I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right. They ain't taking that from me. If you don't want to say nothing, that's your bet. But don't say I'm leaking anything. I paid that bill. I sent my daughter to college to get an education. She came back in a box, and I can speak on that. Oh, my heart. So I guess what he's saying there is the police didn't tell him anything, and he's frustrated that the police aren't telling them anything. And I get their frustration, but I also get that they don't want to hurt this investigation. Prosecutors on down the line, oh, this was leaked. And so the father is saying, listen, I paid the funerals. I saw. Can you, oh my God. That's right, Camilla. You're right. Who was the press conference from? Police department or the city? That was from city of Moscow. They are not wanting as of now, they don't, for whatever reason, they're not asking for a reward. They're not offering it. Now the parents have wanted to offer that, or at least some of the parents. Yeah, Bambi. Exactly. You can identify them. So what he's saying is he and his wife, they have identified them, and he's not saying that he got that from the police, that he earned that right. I mean, who the hell wouldn't be mad whenever there's literally still someone out there that took 4 lives that are still, sucking up oxygen. Dirty. And blonde, yep. She said it. They don't want rewarder posters because they are too scared it will ruin admissions. When do you see college president speak at a police presser? Yeah. Yeah. So they have a bunch of. Thank you so much, Illusion. Thank you. Thank you. I don't think he was told that. I think he was saying that's how physically. Yes. Bingo. Exactly. The autopsy, the injuries versus the autopsy, saying that don't match. Yes. I mean, he had a right to see his daughter. I can't. That's like a nightmare 101. Absolutely, Camilla. College, that's the only thing Moscow, that's what everything thrives on. Every restaurant, everything thrives on that little college. I mean, do you want someone out? I mean, listen, let's thank you, Vet Girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Justin, go to Chris M Live last where Miss Chris McDonough, Karen, explains where these press releases are coming from. A good explanation. Well, I did not know that. I must have missed that part. Do you know where it was? Like his last live? You got a timestamp, and I will. So there is a channel on YouTube, and it's if as long as you have a strong stomach, you'll like it. I don't know the name of them, and I feel bad because I don't, because I watch them all the time. They clean up crime scenes, and they'll tell you a little bit about the story of the person that lived there and maybe how they died, whether it was, heart attack, stroke, how long they were there, and or a murder. There we go. Crime scene cleaners. Cleanup cleaners. Yes, that's what it is. And God bless them. You follow them on TikTok. Yeah, they're great. Kim Young. Pink boots in a window. And the M, anyone watching, SM could pick Maddie's room out. 2, Delphi 213, Idaho 1113. Multiple murders at one time by knife. Coincidence? Traveling? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's a traveling, in my opinion at least. I think this is someone young. I think it's someone that knows them. 2413, Vet Girl says, in title of slide says messaging. Okay. I'll look at it.
Somebody has to watch that video. So this is
A lot more behind the scenes that they're
Vet girl, is this it right here? Is this the one with Chris and Karen? In my opinion, this is so important to hear how these press releases are formed and by whom. I couldn't clean crime scenes. I couldn't live in a house where the horrendous murder. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. She said 24 something, didn't she? 2413.
they're holding obviously all the important investigative material.
By the way, Karen McDonough, Chris's wife, she used to work for the, I believe it's the LA Times as a journalist for many years. Beautiful, classy woman.
Themselves, they keep, they can put out small bits to the media. Let's just hope they're using every single tool available, every resource. And it certainly seems that they're using other agencies, and they've come out and said that they're continuing to keep going. It's a fluid investigation. And so from these things that you pointed out, that people, I mean, we don't really know about them. Public doesn't really know about that stuff. Let's hope that they're able to use that along with everything else, and that they're going to catch this guy soon.
yeah. There's well, they've there are the tools are available, and sometimes you just have to go grab them, right? So the FARO is used before victims are removed. They can be, yes, Queen Bee, absolutely. You can use it while the victims are still in the location, and that may explain the full body suits with the mask over their faces. Okay. That also could explain
Back up.
there are probably in there that will basically cut months off of searching, because somebody has to watch that video. So this company here has knocked that piece of the puzzle out, and an investigator will have pretty cool information pretty rapidly. So if that suspect is seen anywhere on video, this is the type of product that's available to law enforcement agencies. Okay, so that said, thoughts on? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Well, it's certainly really cool stuff. And again, let's hope that they're using that and a whole lot more behind the scenes, that they're holding obviously all the important investigative material to themselves. They keep, they can put out small bits to the media. Let's just hope they're using every single tool available, every resource. And it certainly seems that they're using other agencies, and they've come out and said that they're continuing to keep going. It's a fluid investigation. And so from these things that you pointed out, that
I don't know.
the people, I mean, we don't really know about them.
My
Public doesn't
internet's
really know about that
crappy
stuff.
today.
Let's hope that they're able to use that along with everything else, and that they're going to catch this guy soon.
Yeah, there's well, they've there are the tools are and some so the FARO is used before victims are removed. They can be, yes, Queen Bee, absolutely. You can use it while the victims are still in the location, and that may explain the full body suits with the mask over their faces. Okay. That also could explain they're probably shooting either Blue Star or luminol throughout. Luminol is not as good as Blue Star because luminol will knock the DNA down a little bit more than Blue Star will. And we're going to have a if you've never been on our been here with us before, you can have we had Josephine here, and then the Bardot method.
I think you mean Francine. Francine
Yeah, and
Bardot.
Josephine, but Francine for the Bardot method. But
Oh.
yeah, and she's the one who actually invented the ability to utilize what they call an
Chris knows the history to all of these things. It's very interesting to know. Vet girl, is this where it is? And I do believe that he is hiding in plain sight. This person very much hiding in plain sight. If coded locks on one bedroom, either they did not close doors or killer new codes. Yes. I just want to see if Vet Girls. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to call anyone a suspect, because I don't know. The owner of the house should tear it down.
an MVAC, and she's been known to take off fingerprints from shell casings and DNA, touch DNA. I've even heard that she's pulled it off of a rock before. So I'm going to have her on coming up.
Pulled it off of a rock
shortly.
It's amazing.
She's slammed right now, but we've been talking. So let's talk about messaging. Karen, from your perspective.
Okay, here it is.
On why messaging is so important.
So that is a really good topic.
So this is Karen's forte right here. And Chris said that they even pulled it off of a rock one time. So does that mean they can do the Flintstones?
Topic. I know there's feelings out there that the investigation isn't going fast enough. Certainly, the family of the victims they're out there and they're talking about their frustrations, lack of communication, perhaps. And certainly at the beginning of this investigation, there was confusing messaging and miscommunication, if you will.
And to be honest with you, I don't think it's gotten any better. And that's not to. The police are doing what they can, and they're doing the best. They're working their asses off right now. They really are. And they're doing it for a reason. I have faith in these guys.
Especially early on. So, in my opinion, here's what's going on behind the scenes. And again, this is from my perspective as a former crime reporter and an investigative reporter, and then also as a public information officer for a police department. I did that job for many years. And so when these huge cases happen, I do know what goes on behind the scenes. So for this case, let's go back to the beginning, the first couple days of the investigation. And you guys will remember that the mayor came out and said, he was quoted as saying, this is a quote, crime of passion, and that the public was not at risk because it was a targeted attack. Well, we know they quickly walked that back. The mayor had said, well, crime of passion was just one of the different options. And then he was also quoted as saying he was talking about that he was pressuring, that's his word, pressuring the police department to do a press conference within the first day or two. Police released information. They released it on press releases, but at the first day or two, they hadn't done a press conference yet. And so the mayor, who's a politician, was obviously first involved in this investigation, meaning he came out front and he was giving interviews to the media. So, okay, so why was the mayor speaking out? Well, the mayor himself gave a really interesting quote, and I'm going to quote it. He said, "The university and the city are integrated in so many ways, and the fate of one resonates with the other one very strongly." So what he meant by that was the city and the university, city of Moscow and the University of Idaho are intricately connected. And the crime, this horrible murders, not only stains the city, but it stains the university as well. And that's something.
There you have it. That's what it boils down to. Ring, money, money, money.
You can take that to the bank.
Money. It's what it boils down to. Guaranteed. I mean, obviously, when you're looking for colleges, and you're looking for your kids, and you're like, oh, Moscow, Idaho, and then you learn about the city, and it's like, oh, murder of 4 college students on the loose. Well, check that off the list, right?
Important to think about. And again, I'm talking about public perception, and um, and that ties directly into the messaging. So, kind of follow me through on
Public
this thought.
perception.
So,
I don't think, I mean, they could, there's been many times where there's been dangerous people out in the community, but the police hasn't said anything because they don't want a panic, a frenzy, because that makes it so much worse. So everyone should be vigilant always, and be very careful. I mean, don't let it ruin your life, but take extra precautions. That's what you should do.
the university we know is all universities are for profit. They're businesses and it's big business. Higher education is big business. So there is concern from the university's part. Again, this is my view and my opinion of what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, they're very concerned about the current campus and student population now, but they're also, in my opinion, worried about future students, future enrollment.
Which is exactly what I said this morning in my last live. This year's about to end. There's going to be whole new kids rolling in with their parents. And it will hurt. It will hurt them. And it still will probably hurt, their business, even saying that they're safe, because even some parents are still going to be like, not risking it, not risking it. Something, where was that comment? And Proud Mama V, that's another thing. I mean, we looked last night at these reports, but or rather the log of the police, but not a lot of reports were taken. All right, call. Bye.
because right now there is a killer on the loose. So they are likely worried about losing student enrollment, perhaps losing money, losing funding, losing research grant money. The list goes on. So we know this. And just consider that, take that into consideration when we're talking about the police investigation. The police in this case have an enormous extra added pressure because of that pressure from the university and the city. More so the university than the city, than the town of Moscow. And you know that can be seen on the press releases that they're releasing. Okay, so just a couple other quick thoughts with this. And this is again behind the scenes stuff, but yeah, it plays into the investigation and anybody following it. So the press releases now come from a communications team. Okay, well, who's on the communications team? I can guarantee you it's going to be people from the university because they had professionals, professional media people, spokespersons before this incident. So I'm going to say the university, I'm going to say probably a city representative would be on there, and of course, somebody from the police department.
Okay, so you have people from the university, making this decision. You have people from the city making this decision, and you have the police. Now, the police don't want panic, obviously. The school doesn't want panic, and the city doesn't want panic because they all are reliant on each other. They're actually more reliant on the school than anything because the school is what makes the economy in Moscow. Because all the kids are coming there, they're spending money, their families are coming, all of that. So I think she's done. Make sure.
And they're putting out the daily press releases. And one thing, and a number of media have already picked up on this, is they are trying to tamp down what's being said. And obviously, every time the parents give the interviews, you know that that's going on. And so we're gonna take a look at the press release here for a second. And I'm gonna also explain why this is even important. So part of what this communications team is releasing daily, if not daily, then every day or so, is whatever new information. But they're not necessarily releasing new information. What they're doing is they are seeing what is being said out there, who's talking, and
Karen is so smart. She's so smart because that's what we were just talking about yesterday. News Nation Now, Brian Enton, he was talking about that he could confirm that there was, more wounds to one of the victims than the other ones. And, and she's saying it's what they're hearing in the community, and they're just responding. They're responding to the chatter. They're not necessarily giving us new information, but because they're putting something out, it at least pacifies us for a moment in time. Sad.
then they're basically trying to say, well, no, that's not part of the investigation. And they're doing it bullet by bullet point. I don't mean a literal bullet. And the other thing too is that they've got a rumor control section. That's their words. That's what they're calling it. And as a former PIO, when I saw that, I thought, okay, wait a minute. The police are enormously busy, go 24/7 trying to solve this crime. Who's worried about rumor control? Obvious answer is going to be the university and the city. They have what's most at stake. And so they put out a list of things. Um, we don't have to get into it, but it's like they're putting out now 5-page press releases, and one of those pages is just on rumor control. And what is on there are certain things that questions that have come up, mostly by the media, that they have asked of the Moscow Police Department, "Hey, is this incident related?" Some of them would be the dog skinning incident that we all heard about. That was a month prior. I think it happened in October. Leda County Sheriff's Department took the report. That's on there. They're saying, no, that's not related. And many other little incidents as well. There was an incident at Taylor Avenue and Band Field. I'm just reading from this, the early morning of the murders. They're saying it was an alcohol offense and that it's not related to the murder investigation. And they go on. There's several points of this. They also have on here, and this is one thing we can talk about. They say, quote, "We have not changed our belief that the murders were a targeted attack. However, investigators have not concluded if the target was the residents or its occupants."
Yeah,
Now,
let's
Chris, how does that strike you?
yeah, let's talk about that, right? So a little confusing there, right? And I'm not necessarily saying it's on purpose, personally, right? And this is
So basically, they're giving us a word salad, and they're just responding to the chatter. Well, yeah, I mean, there has been times where they have said, two different things in one day. So, I don't know. When you have 2,645 emails, 2,770 phone tips, and 1,084 digital media submissions, you got a lot on your plate, you know. So hopefully they will get more things back from the crime lab soon. And, there will be an arrest. I really pray that there's an arrest this week. I really pray there's an arrest. Somebody needs to start blaming the school, then I bet they'll get some answers. DNA rumors, any truth? What Nancy Grace said. The DNA rumors, any truth? What Nancy Grace said. I have not heard what Nancy Grace has said, to be quite honest with you. I haven't heard. Journalism school grad here. Love and accurate vocabulary just for all. And Karen's present. Oh, thank you, Alley Cattails. You're very kind. Thank you. They should have DNA back now. Just no match. Well, I believe they probably have found. I mean, they have found DNA. It just, if they found the killer's DNA, there's obviously DNA all in the house. But just not a lot to work with. Photo is key. I think we're getting closer. I do. Hey, Kay, good to see you. Nancy said law enforcement has DNA of guilty party. It is just didn't hit on registry, which means I believe that this person is younger, under 30, I would say. And going to be very close or relatively close to these victims. I think they've definitely been in the house. When there's a bunch of cars still sitting out in the yard, and Kaylee is home or she's there for the weekend and only there for the weekend. She's moved out. She's going to Texas. She's starting a new life. She just got a new Range Rover. She's got the most wounds. That's not on a accident. That's not an accident. I think she was, and I think they need to look more into Kaylee's life more than anyone's. They were jealous she was leaving, that she was doing good, that she was moving to, a new area, a new state, a new life, with her and her little, graduating, beautiful. And they had the weekend to do it. I sent Justin an email. I know he's busy. We'll look at it before we go. Yes. Desire. I did see that. That was actually sent into authorities. Which, this is the thing. The killer knew that the girls on the third floor, that they were best friends. He knew Kaylee was moving out, and he knew she was there for the weekend. He knew most likely that everything had been unpacked or moved, and that both of the girls would probably be sleeping in the same bed, because where else was she going to sleep? That's a very good question, Justice and True Crime. If it was the roommates or ex, how can they determine it? Because their DNA would be in the house anyway, hair and blood. It makes it a lot harder for a prosecutor. Well, Illusion, this is the thing. I mean, their bedroom door could have been locked, and the person could have knocked on the door, right? And the person knew them, and they didn't think anything of it. Oh, our friend's here, open the door. You never know. But I personally don't think, I think they were in the bed, but maybe if Xana and Ethan's under the fingernails, that would be great. If they have DNA under their fingernails and they can do a fingernail clipping and or a scrape. I don't know. And it just depends on how much the killer, how much protective gear they have on. Could they rip through anything? Do they have a mask on or anything? But this is the thing with killing four people, particularly, I'm gonna trigger warning, particularly slashing the jugular and stuff, it shoots out like a stream. Like a stream. And that person is going to have it everywhere. absolutely everywhere. And I feel with that much blood, how in the world could he have not cut his hand? How in the world could he not have put his hand? Exactly, Camilla. The roommate called because they thought someone was unconscious and didn't see blood. I don't know. When you're in shock like that, you never know. Even if you saw blood, you could have thought like, "Oh my God, they fell down and busted their nose, or they busted their head and they're unconscious." Maybe you just didn't think they were dead. That's exactly right. A double blade has a protective piece between the blade and the handle, making it less likely. It does. It does. But just with so much force and doing it so quickly, most of the times, even with one person, they get cut. I don't either, Carol. Okay, guys. Well, I said it was going to be a quick live. I was wanting to read that. It's an hour and 22 minutes. So I'm going to jump off. It's my second live for today. If there is anything that comes about this case, I've got my alarms on. I'm digging as deep as I can dig. Yes, Maddie, he was, and I believe he's out. He is out now. I can say that. But that's all I know. Yeah, me too. Me too. And if there's anyone in the town watching this, if you know of anyone that could have acted weird, that was obsessed with anyone, or you know having strange behavior, I don't have my phone, to please call out and send the tip in. It's never, you know not the tips, most of them are going to be a no, but it just takes one yes to change it, right? Mm, okay. All right, guys. Love you all. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you. Justice for these kids, man. Parents deserve answers. They deserve their souls to rest. Yes, please hit that thumbs up button. Let's get it out there, guys. It's really the power of you guys that makes this possible, that makes these stories go out just by simply pressing a thumbs up button. It's really that simple that can make this shoot out to the world. So I will be live if anything pops off. You can bet that. Love you all. Get some rest. Hug your families. Give them hugs. Spend time with them. Good night and God bless.